It's a special episode of Wrestle This with the Chad, the champ, and Double D Dennis DeLine.
Thank you. Woo! Yes, it's a special edition of Wrestle This today, ladies and gentlemen. We're celebrating Black History Month, obviously the month of February. So we thought we'd take a little moment and talk about some of our favorite
African Americans.
Definitely.
And I mean, the African American culture in professional wrestling has been a staple forever. I mean,
oh yes,
for
sure.
from High Chief Pete Maravilla, Rocky Johnson, Superfly's Jimmy Snuka.
Who's black?
Well, Samoa.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's lots of great champions. And today we are celebrating the first African American heavyweight champion of the world. Damn! Ron Simmons.
Ron Simmons, obviously a great wrestler, great in-ring wrestler. Very underrated in terms of when you think of the greats, right? No one
Definitely.
He wouldn't really come to mind, but he was such a solid worker in the ring. Obviously, his characters were great too, leading into Farouk and Nation of Domination, APA, and obviously the Damn!
Yeah.
But we're just going to talk a little bit about him and
from his humble beginnings to his Hall of Fame induction in 2012, which is, I cannot believe he's been in the Hall of Fame for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's that guy can cut promos. He doesn't really cut a promo.
Still does. They bring him back every so often. And,
how can you be known for one word?
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Damn.
But he did a lot more than that.
For sure. He started off in WCW way back in the day.
Yeah.
He was a great champion there. Obviously he eventually won the World Heavyweight Championship, but he didn't start there. His first championship was with Doom. Him and Butch Reed. They held
really? Was that before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No. Actually, I was wrong. No. His first championship was the heavyweight.
Yeah.
I thought so too. Stand me corrected.
Slow down there a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go further back a little bit. Talk about how he kind of started out. He was a football player.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestlers get into sports. They get in with football or baseball. And he actually played for, take it away, Chad.
He played for the Cleveland Browns for the NFL for a short time. He played here in Canada for our old Ottawa Rough Riders.
That's right. I didn't know that until today.
Yeah, no, it's kind of interesting, definitely. And then, the small time, try to be big time USFL.
Yeah.
He played for the Tampa Bay.
Do you remember that?
No. Tampa Bay Bandits.
Okay.
I was super young at the time, dude.
So it was
a lot of greats.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. No, it was 40. 30. But actually it was in the USFL that he first came in contact with the total package,
Lex
Luger.
And he convinced him to try out for the power plant,
yeah,
which was WCW's kind of training or performance center.
Yes, definitely. That's today's
the performance center. But yeah,
definitely. It's crazy that how football players just meet each other and
transition into wrestling right?
So easily with The Rock and everybody else. It's
Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that about Reigns, but anyway. Segue into his title run. So
his title runs. His first title run. Obviously, he beat Vader.
Yeah.
He originally wasn't supposed to be scheduled to do that. That was all a lottery deal due to an injury with Jake Roberts and an angle with Sting.
Right.
Then they did a lottery. He got chosen. Had a great match with Vader and Power Slam, and it was a Power Slam, honestly, heard around the world.
Yeah, and Vader, 400, probably 450 pounds at the time.
Yeah.
And Ron Simmons picked him up with ease.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
And that was such a historic moment.
It was.
For the African American culture because, again, he's the first champion.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you watch videos from back then, from public schools, even in the match itself, the whole crowd just went crazy.
They went ballistic.
It's something. They need more of that nowadays. It's the unexpected, happening.
And it was totally unexpected. He was totally not expected to win. Vader was just squashing guys left, right, and center.
When Big Van Vader came from Japan, He was unstoppable.
Yeah, he was just a monster he
Yeah.
right? And he was he wiped out all of WCW's like contenders at the time. So it was really seen as like,
And he was the one that took Cactus Jack's ear.
that's right. That's right.
So, you know.
But yeah, Ron Simmons was like the Rocky Balboa story, you know, like he was totally not expected to win. He was just kind of given a shot by a lottery, and the champ was like, oh yeah, I'll beat this guy, no problem. And of course,
history was made.
yeah, history
It was
made.
great, you know, and I mean,
Leading
he had a great run again with Cactus Jack afterwards, you
Yep.
know, like, and that's one of the things about that people don't realize about Mick Foley is, you know, he has such a long history with people.
He
Like,
really does.
he's really touched a lot.
This was in
of
the
different
early
lives.
90s, like in the early 90s.
Definitely, and he was in a championship run against, you know, Ron Simmons, which was excellent.
Yeah.
You know, so, and again, that would meet later on in, you know, WWE and stuff like that.
And it's funny thinking back, like when you watch the Attitude Era, and like they obviously had tons of matches with Mick Foley and the Nation of Domination, but like they had already had all that history.
Yeah.
6 years, 7 years
definitely.
before in WCW.
And I mean, you know, things are too, like, you got to realize that Ron Simmons beat a young Yokozuna.
Yep.
He beat Ivan Koloff for his first real win way back in the day. And I mean,
Interesting.
you were really young, but when I was younger, Ivan Koloff was one of those. They had the Russians, right? It was him and Nikita Koloff, and you know, and then you know they segue like, you know, WWE had the Bolsheviks kind of deal,
right?
But like the Koloffs were amazing back in the day. Like they were such a strong unit.
Yeah.
You know, they fought with Magnum TA, and there was it was such a good time for wrestling back then.
Yeah.
You know.
The segue into, obviously, then he went in with Doom.
Doom, yep. He was with Doom for the longest. I mean, he turned turned heel, went to Doom. They appeared first under masks, under Teddy Long.
Yes.
Right?
Which again, I didn't know. And it's interesting leading back to like the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, when Teddy Long was the GM of SmackDown, and Farouk and like the APA and all that, and they had history at that point. 10 years or 15 years.
And originally, Teddy Long was a referee in the match with Doom.
Right.
Cost the other team the title with a fast count.
Yes.
He was then part of Doom after that. So it's interesting how back in the day they could tell a story and have a ref automatically go from ref to manager and lickety split.
Just like
it was just like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
also,
a lot of the time back then, the refs were they were wrestlers, but they weren't big enough, or you know, they were just ring work,
and they also needed to be. They were jobbers too,
more or less.
Right? You put the ring together, you jobbed out every once in a while for the guys, and then you did the ring.
Yep.
I mean, sorry, you roughed.
Yeah.
You know, I know I really shouldn't say this on this show because there's some, you know, issues with that.
Oh, here we go.
But, you know, they did go from Teddy Long to a great manager back in the day.
Yes.
She's dearly departed now, unfortunately, due to an unfortunate incident, but woman.
Yes.
She was an amazing manager.
She was.
I know,
she was.
Again,
and
there's a lot of history about it.
She should be in the Hall of Fame.
She definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's not her problem that she's no longer with us today.
Right.
That's a whole other issue in itself, and we don't get into it.
We'll talk about that some other day.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But right now, I mean, we have to give kudos to women for being the manager that she was. She, you know, she was with Kevin Sullivan. She was with Doom. She was with so many guys and brought them the you know, the notoriety that they needed. That manager,
they needed,
which they don't do anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have women managers like women.
Yeah.
So kudos to her. Thank you very much. I mean, then he actually, have you ever heard of Big Josh?
No.
Big Josh, it was a long time ago, but back in WCW, they did have underscore tag team titles. So they did have U.S. tag team titles.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And he did have a run with Big Josh back then. I really don't remember it, to be quite honest. It was more Doom because, I mean, I was... Butch Reed had come over from WWE to WCW.
Right.
And I always did love Butch Reed as a character. I mean, he was pretty big. He was a brute. He was a ex-football player too. So him and Ron Simmons fit great.
Yeah.
So it was just...
They had great chemistry.
They did. And then, you know, obviously... Ron,
I thought they were brothers.
I know.
Related, right? Like
I know.
They're built the same. And,
yeah.
Like,
definitely. I mean, and under masks, you had no idea for the longest time.
No.
So he was U.S. Tag Champ with Big Josh for a while too. So,
interesting.
You know, and that pretty much, I mean, he went on a couple little title runs at the end.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of U.S. titles. I mean, I'm pretty sure he fought Steve Austin quite a few times.
Yeah, he did have the U.S. title. kind of segue. So that he left WCW and went to ECW.
ECW of all places.
But before ECW was like, hey, take this razor blade
Oh, definitely.
baseball bat to
it
the
was
face.
it was more yeah. It was very, very low key. And I mean, he tagged with Too Cold Scorpio.
Right.
They went after the tag team titles.
Another football.
Another football player. Too Cold Scorpio.
Seen a
Another amazing African American athlete. Like he
For
came
sure.
up from Japan.
Yep.
Honestly, the first time I saw him, he was ahead of his time for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Me too.
they killed him in WWE with the yeah. It was just brutal. Like,
As they do with most good athletes.
you know, and that's and that was the problem I think I had a lot with the WWE is they were too character driven.
Right.
They're not
Especially
the
that
personal-
time.
at that
Especially
time.
that
You
time.
know, like Too Cold Scorpio. If he would have went in as just Too Cold Scorpio, he'd have been awesome.
He was an amazing in-ring worker, like
Totally.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And like you said, especially for the time, there was nobody doing like the tumbleweed or like all these 450 splashes and all that stuff.
exactly.
Because the WWE hadn't really brought in all the lightweights or like the guys
Exactly,
from
and it was
Japan.
WCW that really got WWF or WWE now, sorry,
Yeah,
to invest in their cruiserweights a little more and develop the light heavyweight championship.
for sure.
You know,
For sure.
So
The segue, yeah. Ron
So-
Simmons, he comes to WWF. Obviously, he started as like Farouk. This,
Top.
this like gladiator helmet wearing
under Sunny.
under Sunny. Yes, that's right.
And it was, you know,
You
he
think
started off.
think he got in?
I think he saw some sunny days.
Yeah, okay.
well, it sounded like a lot of people had some sunny days.
We'll ask Bret Hart.
Well, yeah, we'll talk to Brandon Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he came in, immediately went to a program with Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah.
Another
great.
He was,
well, great's a strong word.
I mean, when
First
he
black
went,
Intercontinental champion.
definitely, yes. And I mean, kudos to him.
Mm-hmm.
He was, when he came in, he looked like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million. When he came, I thought for sure he was going to be WWE
I
champion.
thought so too.
You know,
thought so too.
But his
Stone
work rate-
Cold kind of ruined all that.
Well, yeah, he did. He
But-
did definitely. But I mean, I think Ahmed Johnson ruined it himself. Like he's got a bad rep.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, we don't really.
We'll talk about that some other
We'll
time.
talk again.
But yeah, he had all kinds of backstage.
Yeah, backstage stuff. And I mean, Farouk manhandled him for the first little while. Then they had then they came through with the Nation of Domination right after that, and then you had the Legion of Doom come in with Ahmed Johnson, and they had the Chicago Street Fight. Remember?
Yep.
So
WrestleMania 13.
Yeah, buddy. crazy. You know, and it's just, you know, from there he was. I think he hung around the mid card for a little while until he got.
He did. He got, because The Rock became huge, right?
Yes.
Leading out of the Nation of Domination.
And they feuded for a little while.
They feuded for a little while, and then he kind of just didn't have anything to do. So yeah, he kind of hung around the mid card, and then they started with the
Ministry of Darkness.
Ministry of Darkness, which led into the Acolytes.
Yeah,
And
and that was I wasn't sold on the Acolytes first. I really wasn't, because it was mostly because of Bradshaw.
Yeah.
At that point, Bradshaw wasn't a good worker at all. Like he
No.
came in with that Justin Hawk Bradshaw cowboy hat thing,
and he was
it
very
just-
stiff in the ring.
Super stiff.
He could do
Super.
clotheslines.
Yeah.
And like that was about it.
He was like a 3-move wonder.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's
when
like
they
clothesline from hell.
Yeah, exactly, and that was a phenomenal move. Don't get me wrong, clothesline from hell.
I wouldn't want to take it.
when he hit some of those guys with it, it was vicious.
Yeah.
Totally. But you know, they were three-time tag team champions, so you can't really knock the Acolytes or APA. I mean,
especially at that time, because the tag division was so strong, right?
Yeah.
Well, Edge and Christian, Hardy.
Oh, it was
like Dudley's. Like there were so many
many great matches.
Yeah,
so many great matches,
especially that time. But yeah, kudos to Ron Simmons. He had an amazing career, and like I said, he carved out a little niche comedy act kind of.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the great thing about the APA is, you know, when they stopped really featuring them as a tag team in the ring, it was all about the comedy skits and behind the scenes.
But it worked. It always worked.
It totally worked, and it really got to see that fun side of Ron Simmons as well.
Yeah.
And that, you know, there's jokes and there was the meanness, but there was also, and it was a great friendship between them. I mean, I watched the video of the APA. It was just the relationship between those two men is phenomenal.
They are good friends in real life, and it's funny that people that have met Ron Simmons, like at conventions or whatever, they say he's the nicest guy.
He is.
He loves kids. You know, like he really didn't like playing a heel or a bad guy,
but he was so good at it.
He was so good at it. Right? So
definitely.
But yeah, he's generally noted in the wrestling community as like one of the nicest guys. always super nice to fans. Like he'll go out of his way to make meet and greet special and that kind of thing. So, you know, he's a great dude, great person. That's why we're talking about him.
Definitely. And he was inducted in the Hall of Fame 2012 by his tag team partner. So
was it Bradshaw?
I thought, I'm pretty sure. And
I'm
pretty
sure
Bradshaw cried.
Yeah. Oh, probably.
No, I mean, that's the best way to go is having, like, if you're going to have a Hall of Fame speech, you want somebody who really knows you to actually do it.
And nobody else can. Nobody else can.
And nobody knows Ron Simmons like him. It really doesn't. So, you know, again, Ron Simmons, great American champion. We've appreciated all of your work here, definitely at Wrestle This. We wish you all the best in your
We'd love to have you on the show.
We'd love to have you on the show, even by camera, bud.
Yeah.
Give us a damn, and we love it. Damn. Anyways, until next time, this is Wrestle This.
Remember, if you can't wrestle each other, wrestle this. Dig it.